His computer. Okay. Welcome everyone to Online Toastmasters meeting. I'm happy that all of you are here, and thank you, Paz, for bringing so many people. I didn't expect that. I expect like 1 or 2 extra people. So welcome. It's great seeing all of you here, and to start off our meeting, I'll just introduce it very briefly. There is one thing that is unusual about our meetings, and that's the length of our meetings. I push really hard for these meetings to be within 60 minutes, no longer than that. Why is that? Our main category of speeches, people, our target audience, people who come visit us, we target people who are busy, entrepreneurs, onlinepreneurs, people who value their time. Thus, we value our time as well. And some time ago, I visited a club in Texas, and they managed their meetings within an hour. And I was like, wow, I want that. Here we are. So what's different about us? Yes, we are part of Toastmasters International. Who's from all of you who's here, who's not familiar with Toastmasters International, like what they do? Just raise your hand. Okay, everyone here is familiar with Toastmasters International. Then I will just skip what Toastmasters is about. You all know it. What are we about? We are about focusing on communication, entrepreneurship, and just, being able to having a business and handling it really well. So our topics may differ from marketing to sales. We had an amazing guest speaker, Timmy, a couple months ago, who's a friend of mine, and he is a young guy who sold something over $1 million in revenue already, and he was giving a speech about it. So if you are interested to see this speech, you can just search Online Toastmasters on YouTube, and it's in there. It's in our videos. That's something that's much better for us than for other clubs, for example. In physical meetings, yes, it is possible to record those meetings, but the workload increases. You need to stop it, you need to break it, you need to do this, that, and that. Not for us. We just hit record, then we cut it, it's done. So thus you are able to see all of our meetings that we have. What we are going to do today? Today we have 2 speakers. Wait, 2 so you can see it. We have 2 speakers, and both of them are guests from other clubs. The first speaker will be Janka. You can see her name, Speaker Janka, who is going to tell us about, I don't have it open right now, so sorry, I'm not going to read that. She's going to share a speech that she's prepared for, and we talked about it actually. And it's going to be about her. Janka, how about you tell us in very briefly, what is your speech going to be about? Turn on your microphone. There you go.
Okay. So the goal of my speech is to provide information. How did I increase my self-confidence thanks to Toastmasters? So shortly.
Thank you very much. You see, I wouldn't have said it any better. Our second speaker is Tibor. Tibor, share with us, what is your speech going to be about, very briefly?
My speech is going to be about my experience building my social media presence.
Now, that's something I'm really interested in hearing, seeing, witnessing something. I'm looking forward to that speech. Thank you very much. Then we will have our first evaluator, who's going to be Evaluator Darling, who is my fiancée Soňa. So she will evaluate Janka's speech. Then we will have panel evaluation, so all of you have the chance to share your opinion about Janka's speech as well. This is something we've implemented some time ago as well from another club we've seen in Vancouver. And I like it a lot because it gives guests the chance to share their opinion as well and to speak. Our second evaluator will be Paz. Thank you, Paz. She will evaluate Tibor's speech. I really hope you two got in touch and talked everything through. Wonderful, thank you. After that, another panel evaluation, same principle. Then we will continue today, since I did not expect so many people, otherwise we would have all of the roles filled. I'm okay with these roles not being filled though, so we are not going to have a counter today, but we are going to have Grammarian Anka. Anka is strict when it comes to grammar. Yeah, there's my grammar there. And she will tell us all about how we use our English. Then we will have Quizmaster John, who was kind enough to volunteer, definitely volunteer, to do his Quizmaster work. And we have our timer Vivien. Thank you, Vivien, for coming, and everyone else as well. She will be showing those cards you all know about, you know, green, you are good, yellow, start to finish, red, get out. You all know those. And at the end, we will have general evaluation by our club's president, Tereza, whom I don't see how her name is written right now, but there's this thing in Slovakia about names. You can say one name in like 7 different ways, right? So please don't get confused when I say Tereza and her name is written Tereza. It's like I'm Peter, but my name could be said as well Petio, Petko, Petrik, and so on, okay? We will try our best to stick our main basic names as much as we can. It is a habit though, and you might hear names that you don't know whose it is, so just like, yeah, it's fine. So
Peter,
yes,
if you don't have a counter, any one of us here who doesn't have a role can take it. If you really need a counter for this meeting, maybe Adele or Rovan or Bernadette can fill in for that role.
thank you. Is there anyone who would like to be an counter? Just raise your hand. Okay.
Burn.
Sure, Bert.
Thank you, Bernadette, for volunteering for this role. Remind me when we are going through the roles to just like, hey, I am an counter. Remember me to just call you out to do your role. Shall we start then? I have an opening question for all of you. A quick one though, because we are so many that I did not expect. Tell me in 2 words something that describes you. For example, it's like something that's your core, you know, like in 2 words, who you are. Easy, right? I like easy questions. I'll start then to make an example. I am stubborn. And I am also happy. I'm happy and stubborn. So that's me in a nutshell. There are many more things about me, but these are a couple of the biggest ones about me. So let's continue. Please be really quick about it so we can manage that 1 hour. Let's continue. First, evaluator Soňa, who are you?
I think curious and sometimes crazy.
Not sometimes. Thank you. The next one, Vlad.
I am optimistic and anxious.
Optimistic and anxious. That's an interesting combination. Thank you. Tibor.
Calm progress.
Definitely calm. I can see that. John.
I think I'm an organized kind of person and a neat kind of person, yeah.
Organized and neat. Yeah, those two are really low on my list. Paz?
Friendly and talkative.
Friendly and talkative.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Aga?
Oh, I'm kind and friendly.
Kind and friendly. I like that. I like kind and friendly people. Bernadette?
Soft-spoken and friendly.
Soft-spoken and friendly. Yeah, one of those things I'm not. Janka?
I'm goal-oriented and stubborn also.
Goal-oriented and stubborn. Yeah, I
Yeah.
experienced that when we were talking about your speech.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Max?
I'm passionate and I like to travel.
Passionate and he likes to travel. Thank you, Max. Adele? I don't hear you, but that's okay.
I'm
Now-
warm and interesting.
Warm,
Interesting.
warm and interesting. Okay, thank you. Anna?
I am a lucky girl, and I will tell you why if you ask me later.
Okay, so she's a lucky girl. Tereza?
I'm ambitious and crazy.
Ambitious and crazy. Thank you. Roman?
I am calm and creative.
Calm and creative. Okay.
Yes.
Division B, Lenka?
Hi everyone, my name is Lenka and I'm hardworking and tired now.
Yeah, these two come together. All right, Anna? Wait, I already asked you, just switch off your picture. Okay, Vivien?
I'm friendly and happy.
Friendly and happy. All right, that's everyone, I believe. Raise your hand if you didn't talk. Yeah, nobody's raising their hand. 3, 2, 1. All right, then. Let's welcome our first speaker, Janka, so she can share her speech that she's prepared very diligently. Janka, it's yours.
Hello, everyone. Do you know that story? Fairy tale. It's called Inside Out. This very beautiful story because they talk about 5 basic emotions, which are fear, sadness, disgust, joy, and anger. This is the story when one little girl has inside of her head those little figures. Every figure represents one emotion, and they're trying to navigate. They have a navigation panel, and they're trying to navigate how she should react. And when I saw that story, I totally find myself in there. In 2016, I felt like my navigation panel took over only anger and only fear. My joy almost got lost in the hole of forgetfulness. I felt like everything is going wrong in my life. And my anger, let's call him angry, and my fear, let's call him fearic, was still yelling on me. Not talking, yelling on me. My fearic was talking to me like, you want to change? Change. You want to change? No, no. It was like jumping crazy. You are not satisfied with your job? Okay. but it's good. Its salary is okay, conditions are okay, but you don't want to risk that. You get to another job and they can fire you, and you will be again unemployed. You are not sure you can do it. No change. And on another part of my life, he was telling that, yeah, you are not satisfied in your relationship. Like really, you have a good boy, you have stable relationship, long term, and it's okay you're not happy, but it's stable. And you just don't risk it. You can change it, it can be worse. The person can be disrespectful, or can be violent, or killer, or anything else. Just don't take a risk and be where you are. And in all this situation, started to yelling at me, my anger. Oh my God, you're still in the one place. And can you imagine you're going to be in this place in 10 years, in 20 years, in 1 month? Like, I'm going to be crazy. You have to do something about that. You have to move in your life forward. 2 years later, in 2018, I was standing in Toastmasters meeting in front of my Toastmasters friends, and I realized one thing. I did change something, and I have new relationship. I have baby right now, and I'm happy. I had new job, which finally I moved on, and I had new experience, and it was a great job. And everything in my life was good. I changed something. And I was thinking, what made the difference? One thing. And I realized that this one thing, it was I started to talk in public. And I'm going to explain you why it was so crucial for my life. I was an introvert person, and I was afraid of talking. And I didn't know how to talk too much in conversation. And I learned to talk. I learned to express myself. I learned to tell what I feel. And I was not afraid what another side thinks of me. Number 2, I was so scared about what other things of me. And I learned that it's not possible to be great in eyes of everybody. It is important to be correct in my eyes. Because 100 people, 100 opinions. Number 3, body language. And you can change so much when you change your body language. I was focusing on public speaking, and it was very helpful in my self-confidence because my voice started to be stronger, and I changed my posture. I was more straight, and it's better for breathing. And I also started to have open gestures. How self-confidence can change? What can change? I was one day I was in the park and I was reading. I was reading the book, and suddenly one person jumped from the window. And it was like, oh my God, I hope it's just some baggage. But no, it was person. And I was thinking, what would change self-confidence? And we have great people, successful. For example, Adela Banashova or Zuzana Chaputova, our president. And what would change if they didn't have confidence? So my question is, what would change if you had the confidence you can do anything in your life what you want?
Thank you very much. That was a speech. No, that was the speech. All right, guys. Now, panel evaluation. I'm just going to put the gallery view. Or is it normal evaluation before? 1 second. Normal evaluation is before. My bad. I had to check the agenda. All right. So Janka's evaluator, Soňa, is going to share her evaluation. And after that, we will open the panel discussion. Soňa?
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me okay. Yes? Okay, perfect. Thank you. I was talking or writing with Janka, and she gave me a few notes she wants to look through for my evaluation, and I put the notes and I will hand it over to Janka afterwards. But I have few things which we all could benefit from. And that's things which I would like to share right now. I would start with the fact how Janka started the story. And it was the question, do you know the story? And she explained us which one she's talking about. And I was like, I heard the first sentence. I was like, oh, story, which one? And it was great because I was straight away concentrating. Do I know it? And I realized that, yes, I do know that movie she based her story or the beginning on. And I was like, oh, I still need to watch that movie. But I knew what she's going to talk about. I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. So very nicely done. She used the question to open the story and she provided us with the hook, what we should be expecting and wait for. I as well like the fact that she was emotional, personal, and she used a drama. How you know it? She used her voice. You could hear it. There were pauses, one here, one there. There was a louder speaking or a little bit quieter, especially in the time when her fear or I don't know which of the emotions was shouting at her. And it was shouting, not do that or do that, or just do that, don't do anything. You could hear that she really thought about her story and she thought about what she wants to say and how she felt it through. So very nicely done that she used all the emotional scale and she showed us what she felt. My only suggestion to body language at that moment is using the hands, but using the hands too quickly. It's fine, use it, just think on that the hands needs to be slower. Otherwise, the body posture and what we could see was perfect. Just be aware of the fact that if you use hand too quick, they will just disappear from the screen. I like that you had a very nice eye contact to the camera, which is very important, especially because we are sitting behind the screens and sometimes it might feel not that personal. Janka was very good in this. She really paid attention to that, so well done. My suggestion to this only is the fact that put the notes under the camera or over the camera, not to the side, because then you are just going to be leaning on the side. So that's my suggestion. The only two which I would like to share right now, it's the fact that careful with the hand gestures and put the notes somewhere below or over the camera. Otherwise, the speech was amazing. It has a very nice structure, very good message. The motivational and the thoughts which were amazing. And I will send all the other informations directly to you, Yanni. In case someone wants to know more, we can discuss it later on. Thank you very much. It was an awesome speech.
Thank you, Soňa, very much for your evaluation. I believe Janka took some points. Maybe, yeah, definitely some points. All right, then we will continue with panel evaluation. So if you would like to give some feedback to Janka, just raise your hand and unmute yourself and I'll call you out. Okay, so don't just go all at once. Someone can go though. Anna.
Thank you for this very beautiful speech. It was inspiring. What I would welcome, it's a little bit more smile and optimism because it was a happy speech and I could not see it on the screen. I could just hear the words. And that would something I would appreciate to see the happy face more often. Otherwise, I really loved it and it was very inspiring.
Thank you, Anna. The second one was Tibor, I believe.
Yes, it was me. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate you, Janka, on putting the message through, because I think we all got what you wanted to say. We all, or at least I personally, felt motivated after hearing your message, which is great. And what I would advise you is kind of a technical difficulty. You can see a microphone in my hand, which was not that expensive after all. And I'd recommend you to work on your audio quality, because I felt like some parts of the speech were lost in the mist of technical difficulties. Thank you for the speech.
Thank you, Tibor. Anybody else? Aga.
Hi, thank you very much, Toastmaster Janka, for that very inspiring speech. I love that you use the pattern in a bigger scale, the story, message, and then game. So there was your story, a personal one, and then the message of your story, and then you had that uh, uh, gain part where you encourage us to be self-confident or have confidence, because confidence can really change a lot. And I love that the progression of your story was very uh, seamless. There was this um, conflict that you were that change and anger, or oh no, anger and fear are shouting at you and telling you things, and then you taking on the challenge, and then the unraveling of your conflict and your triumphant ending of your story. I love that, and congratulations for that. I also agree with Toastmaster Tibor about the quality of of the audio at at the very start of the speech. I was hoping for understanding, but eventually it came through. So maybe you can also improve on that matter. But having said that, still did a very good job, and congratulations once again.
Thank you, Aga, very much. Okay, so we will continue with our next speaker. I don't know about the cards and the timer right now, but just in my head, I feel we are a bit over time. So let's continue. Our next speaker, Tibor, is going to tell us about building his online presence. See, I remember that. So, Tibor, go ahead, share your story, share your experience, your expertise, your struggles, your wins, everything.
Have you read the guidelines? No, I mean it. Have you? Because no one reads guidelines anymore. Imagine ordering a wardrobe from IKEA, getting the box, unfolding it, seeing the pieces of wood, metal, and some glue. What do? Do you read the guidelines?
Nope.
I personally. Me neither. The first thing is, as I opened the box, and I see pieces of wood, glue, and metal. I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't get an entire chopped tree and a piece of metal with the instructions to cut it myself. As I know IKEA, I'm glad they did it for me. Then I start unpacking it. I start taking the pieces out of the box, and as I go through them, I kind of see what should belong where. I start to see the pattern up to the point in which I feel like I don't need guidelines anymore. So I just throw them away. Why would I use them? And that's the thing. Would you throw away these guidelines if there was a person, an IKEA employee, watching you with a flamethrower ready to burn your wardrobe down as soon as you do not progress as they suggest you to do? No, I don't think so. I think you would read the guidelines. I think, I know I would read the guidelines if there was someone who could destroy this entire wardrobe just because I did not build it the right way. It's the same with social media. Let me introduce you to my path to social media presence. I'm a teenager living in a small village. Small village is the important part because I do not have access to any physical jobs in here. I would need to commute a um, long hours to get to any kind of physical job. That's what got me to the online job market. But you can imagine a teenager, no experience, no particular schooling at all, trying to find a job online? How come in this overcrowded market? But I started searching and I got to the idea of print on demand. For those for those of you who are not aware of what print on demand is, it's kind of like designing t-shirts for other people and then harvesting profit for the design, outsourcing the production, the shipping, the customer service. Basically, you just design, wait, sell, and get money. Easy, right? Not so much. Not so much. I wanted to boost my sales with online and social media presence. So what did I do? I chose the platform I knew most well. Surprisingly enough, it was Instagram, not Facebook. And then the first hit came. I realized I was working with quotes, just quotes, quote unquote quotes of people with their names. And what's beautiful about quotes of other people is that they are copyrighted. You cannot resell them, you cannot distribute them, and I got banned from the print on demand platform. So I'm like, what do I do now? What what do I do now? I decided to at least get comfortable in the social media presence and online workspace of the greatest companies in the world. I decided to stay on Instagram despite not having any product at all. I did it for the experience. So, as I was starting my Instagram, I filled out all the info and I pushed create, create a business page. It was easy, but the process of gaining followers was not that easy. I started with all the methods out there. I started with support groups, engagement groups. I did share for share, follow for follow, everything you could think of. I did not check against the guidelines. And that's the important part. I did not check. I never did. And there came the second hit. As I was resolving this pebble in my shoe, the notification about not being allowed to use advertising, I got hit in the head with a large stone. I was action blocked. No action whatsoever anymore. I could not do anything online. Why? I did not read the guidelines. All of the strategies mentioned before, share for share, follow for follow, engagement groups, they were banned by the platform and searched by the algorithm. I was trying to build a wardrobe my own way, not their way. And there was a person, in fact, an algorithm standing, watching me, and burning my masterpiece down. So, what I did, I tried to build a community. I connected with as many people as I already had and could connect with. I started building relationships instead of a business. And this was surprisingly the best part of the experience, connecting with the people. I learned the value of human interaction and the value of reading guidelines. So if you were to take just one idea from this talk, remember, always read the guidelines.
Thank you, Tibor, very much. That was a good speech. Personally, I'm more of a Facebook guy. Instagram was never my thing, but Facebook guidelines when it comes to ads, yeah, they're really, really, really strict. So I can imagine your struggles, and I'm glad that I read guidelines first when it comes to advertising, but I don't read guidelines when I build my own shelf. I'm like, for what? I'm just going to curse for 10 minutes instead. So, Tibor's Evaluator Paz, please go ahead and share your evaluation for Tibor.
Hi, how's everyone doing? Can you hear me? All right, great. So earlier, I understood when I was communicating with TM Tibor earlier, and he told me the purpose of this speech is to share his journey about building a social media presence. While he was speaking, give me a thumbs up if you could feel his frustration. Give me a thumbs up if you could feel his hopelessness when he got blocked and his confusion while starting everything. Yes, and we've all been there, I'm sure. We've all been confused, hopeless, frustrated. We might want to throw something at someone at some point. Yes. The good thing about your speech, TM Tibor, is that you started with a question that made all of us stop. We were wondering, should we answer your question? Or was it part of your speech? And that got our attention. You had very clear audio and you had purposeful gestures. So you were doing this while enumerating your struggles, and we understood that. So that communicated well with us. Also, you had eye contact at the beginning, although there are some times where you might lose it a little bit. You kept staring at the ceiling, or maybe you were staring at something else. But all in all, that part of the speech, it was great. If I may suggest something, maybe you could place your mic somewhere where we can see more of your emotions. We wanted to see how frustrated looked like, how confused looked like, because it was covering most of your face. And to keep the eye contact consistent, and as well as have more vocal variety. So don't be to show frustration or to show confusion in your voice, especially now that this is a virtual platform where we need to intensify some of those emotions in order for us to convey it to our audience. But overall, it was a very engaging speech. All of us enjoyed it, and you spoke about your experience. So I look forward to hearing your next speech, and you did a great job tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Paz, for your evaluation. It was very insightful. So, panel evaluation. There's over a dozen of people here. And I know all of you are really, really nice and what's the word? Generous people. And as generous people, you definitely like to give some feedback, right? So raise your hand. Okay, Soňa.
Hello, Peter, and hello, Tibor. Thank you for your speech. I like how Paz nicely recapped all the stuff. I would just add that, yes, at the moment, the microphone was covering your face, but for me, the fact that you were holding the microphone limits you in the using of a body language, and you were using only just one hand. So in case it was like a half of what you could gain with the body gestures. If you use two hands, you have at the one moment you have a double of a gain. So my suggestion would be maybe try to think about to putting the microphone somewhere at the stand and just have it up front you and to use the hands, because it would get more of the impact. And I like the fact how you are guiding us through the whole Insta Live. Now I know why I'm reading the guidelines, and I'm the person who will read it even for the IKEA wardrobe. So thank you for reminding me that I should keep it. So for me, it was a very interesting speech and I really enjoyed it. And the introduction was really catchy. That dramatic pause, and I was like, okay, hang on, what's going on? What's going on? The IKEA wardrobe. Thank you.
Thank you, Soňa. Anybody else? Anybody else? 3? Anybody else? 2? 1? All right, I bet, guys, it's so late at your place that you can't, you can't give feedback at this point. You're like too tired for that. So let's continue with our agenda. 1 second. All right. The next in our agenda is going to be our R counter, who kindly volunteered to do this role. Thank you. How do you even say your name?
Bernadette. But you can call me Burns for short.
Burns.
It's easier, yeah.
All right, Burns, please, have at it.
Yes, good evening, everyone. As the role of an R counter is to make you to note all the ahs, ums, ers, and other repetition words, as well as the word crutches or the words that are used as fillers, like I did now. So for the getting to know each other part, I heard myself say once, Tereza, once, Rovan, once as well. Vivien, you have an one. For the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Janka, you have you've used and as a repetition, like and then you had two ahs and then another and as a word crutch. For Toastmaster Tibor, you have one and two ahs. For Evaluator Soňa, for evaluating Toastmaster Janka, no, you're perfect. No ahs, no ums, yeah. So Toastmaster Paz, for evaluating Tibor, you have one and using the and as a word crutch. For Toastmaster Soňa, on the panel discussion, you have the us, two us. For Toastmaster Aga, you have 5 us. The use of the, or, for, and of are repetitive. Then 1 So that's my counters report. Back to you, Toastmaster Peter.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Burns. I didn't catch my name in that evaluation. Nothing?
I didn't hear anything on the ahs and ums.
Good thing. Yeah, that's how I usually roll. Thank you. Our next evaluator, Grammarian Anna. Go ahead.
Thank you, Peter, for this wonderful opportunity to evaluate the grammar tonight. I think it was very colorful in the best sense of this word. Best meaning, I caught several phrases. There was a nice one, I will go crazy by Janka. Then I noticed, Peter, that you are offering people up for grabs, such as Janka is yours. It was a nice one. At least that's what I heard. Maybe I just missed something, but Janka is definitely ours. And then we had several words that could have multiple usages, like concentrate. I think Soňa mentioned that one. Concentrate, it's also to focus, and we have also juice from concentrate. So definitely we can use it different ways. And there was also mentioning think on them. How can we correct this phrase? Think on them. There is a proposition mismatch.
Think about them.
Yes.
Think about.
Or think it through. We can use different ones. There was also nice one. Then my favorite one was harvesting profit. It's a really innovative phrase because I probably watched too many horror movies. It reminds me like harvesting human organs, you know, these evil doctors in the hospital, harvesting profit. But we have also biofood. It's called natural harvest or something like that. For profit, how can we get the profit? We can earn it, we can gain it, we can fight for it, and also harvest it. That's the one I really like. It's very innovative. I have too many of these. I should learn how to read my own handwriting or put it on the computer. I like the one about reading the guidelines. Regarding IKEA furniture, I would call it instruction or assembling instruction. And he correctly, I think Tibor mentioned how to assemble furniture, and he mentioned unfold it. You would have to have folding chair to unfold it, otherwise you assemble it. And that was a really nice comparison with IKEA furniture and Instagram guidelines. In case of furniture, I would use instruction for assembly or something like that to sound more technical.
Thank you, Anka. You are out of time, so I just muted you. We go on. If you have any more evaluation, feel free to share it in the messages with others. The same goes for everyone else when it comes to evaluating the speeches. You can just write the speakers a message. That's absolutely all right. We continue with our next evaluator, who is going to be our Quizmaster, John. John, so please come and check how well we paid attention.
Yes, good evening, everyone. It's actually my first time to be a quiz master, and I'm actually having fun, writing notes throughout the meeting. So let's just have it simple. You can also go unmute yourselves, or just type in the chat, whichever is comfortable for you. So let's go right through the questions. Now, early on at the beginning, when people were coming in, Toastmaster Rovan shared that he had a couple of opportunities visiting Toastmasters clubs outside his country. How many times has he attended an international club?
6.
This is the third time.
Yes, that's third time. Yes, very good. Next, Toastmaster Peter visited this place wherein he saw that this club had a meeting for an hour or so, and it was so exact with time, and so he was really amazed. What place was this?
Texas.
Yes, it was Texas. Very good, guys. this was actually also something very interesting when Toastmaster Peter said that there are different ways to mention name your name. So can anyone, maybe I can address this to my fellow Filipino Toastmasters. Can you guys remember a version of Peter's name, another version of saying Peter's name?
Petco or something. Pietro.
Petco, yes, very
Petco.
good.
Like that, Petio, yes. And there was another one for Peter. Can anyone remember?
Patrick.
How about for Tereza's name? Yes, it was Petio or
Tereza.
yes, it was Tereza. I found that very interesting, so I really took note of that. Now let's go to the two words that who. So just name who. Okay, who was the curious and crazy one? Who can remember?
Sonia.
Yes, it was Toastmaster Sonia. Very good. Now, who was the optimistic one? The optimistic and anxious one. Interesting combination. Who was that? Yes? Yes, it was Toastmaster Vlad. Now, who was the talkative one?
Paz.
Oh, who? Yes, it was Toastmaster Paz. Now, who was the soft-spoken one? Who can remember who was the... Sorry?
Burns.
Yes, that was Toastmaster Burns. Very good. Now, who was the passionate and the traveler kind of person? Who was that?
Max.
Max.
Toastmaster Max. And who was our lucky girl? Which I have
Anna.
the reason why. Who was our lucky girl? Yes, that's Toastmaster Anna. And last for our who's who was the hardworking and tired person? This person.
Lenka.
Lenka. She's not here anymore.
She's so hard. She's so hardworking that she's no longer connected.
She's busy with something else. Now let's go to the speeches. What was the movie reference by Toastmaster Janka? The movie reference that she included in her speech. What was the title? Wherein it had fear, sadness, disgust, joy, anger. What was the movie title?
In the head.
Inside Out.
Yes, that was Inside Out.
Okay.
Toastmaster Peter. Now, maybe in Toastmaster Tibor's question, rather speech, what did he buy from IKEA?
Wardrobe.
Wardrobe.
Let's hope so.
Yes, and what was his idea when he entered the online market? What was his idea in terms of the job that he wanted to pursue? What was his idea? What was it about?
Print on demand.
Yes, very good, Toastmaster Burns. Print on demand. And I guess that's it for my role. I think I'm already 3 minutes more. So back to you, Toastmaster Peter.
Thank you very much. This was very energetic. I love energetic people like this. Thank you very much, John, for taking this role. Now we will continue with our timer, Vivien. Vivien, please unmute yourself and tell us how well or unwell we did with our time.
Pedro, 12 minutes. Janka, 7 minutes 43. Soňa, 3 minutes 34. Panel evaluator, Anna, 4 seconds. Tibor, 39 seconds. Neviem, ako sa to číta. 1 minute, 5 seconds. Tibor, 7 minutes, 40. Evaluator Paz, 2 minutes, 31. Panel evaluator Soňa, 1 minute, 24. Counter Bernadette, 1 minute, 20. Grammarian Anka, 2 minutes 44. Quizmaster John, 4 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivien, very much. I'm enjoying this, Vivien. Your English is getting much better. Please keep coming to our meetings. So, the last evaluator. The last of the last. The one we've been all waiting for. The one we are still awake for. Well, some of us at least. I mean, it's 7 p.m. here. So, Tereza, our general evaluator, please share your knowledge. Share what you found. Make us better people.
Thank you so much for such an interesting introduction. I didn't expect that, but thank you. Dear fellow Toastmasters, I love this meeting. The energy and the atmosphere here was wonderful. In the beginning, we tried to manage that on time, but we agreed on waiting for Anka, and it was good actually. In those 2 minutes, she occurred, so we could start. Then, in the beginning, Peter was introducing Toastmasters as well as our club. What I would recommend you, Peter, that you know, we all know Toastmasters, but it is maybe good to name at least some most important things and to name the reason why we do that. Yeah, it would be good. For example, you didn't mention the rules about clapping in Toastmasters. We know that, but it is good to remember and to repeat it again and again that we are supportive community, that we support each other, and we try to be positive before and after the speech or evaluation. And that is something that I was missing, but the atmosphere was making a balance into that. You were struggling a little bit how to introduce the speakers, but then you managed it quite well by asking them. But I was missing something about their pathways, about their levels, or this official things and stuff. But you managed it very funny and well, and they could say what they are going to do, and it was really nice. You know, who is the better introducer than yourself? Actually, you know what you're going to do. So and you mentioned the phrase when you introduce the timer: green, okay, blue, okay, but red, get out. I would prefer something like, you should think about finishing your speech, or something more polite. I liked how you engaged humor when you were using those nicknames that were later used also in our quiz, and it was very funny. I always like how people from other countries are interested in our nicknames. And it's like common for us, but yes. I liked also how you managed the question in the beginning. Say only 2 words. And you saw that there are many of us. It was, I don't know, now 15. It was Lenka too, 16 maybe. But you could do that quite in few minutes, because we were saying just two words, but it was enough, I think. And as I say, name the rules, and also that we should be muted. In the beginning, we had some audio problems, but then it was okay. So that would be all to Toastmasters Peter. And now I would move to evaluate the Soňa, who was evaluating Janka's speech. I liked how Soňa has always structure in her evaluation. she was naming the things, and she was explaining some things like she had great beginning, and that then she talked about gestures, then she talked about notes and said something. What I would recommend, and I do this mistake too, you and also Janka sat really near the camera. Yeah, if you want your, she had fast gestures, but her gestures were also like out of the screen. If you want people to see them, I did it in my speech last week. I stood up and was a little bit further, but you could see me, you could hear me, and you could see all my gestures. But the evaluation was really good. I would continue with the evaluation of Tibor's speech. And I forgot who was the evaluator. Oh my God. Pass. Of course, pass. I didn't write it down. Now I remember. Thank you so much. My mistake. You used questions and we had to raise our thumbs. That was really good communication with audience. And you named his emotions. Yeah, they were really visible. But I was missing maybe something like Tibor's happy emotions. Yes, I felt frustrated. I felt a lot of emotions out of his speech, but it could be also much more positive. It is good you mentioned his microphone, because it was something he can improve when we will see all his face. It would be, I think, better, and we'll see. Then we had panel evaluations. I liked how Peter finished that, because we spent quite a lot of time during that. Then we had our counter, Bernadette Burns. I think I couldn't remember that, but I think it was like that. You explained in the beginning what was your job, and it is really good. I think I didn't do that at all, but Peter was introducing me very well, that I will evaluate those ones who were not evaluated. But you said what you had to do. And what I would recommend to you, even though it was clear, well prepared, you were precise, and you named all of our mistakes, to slow down a little bit and maybe make a little pause after every person, that he can realize, okay, it was me and I had this mistake and another mistake, and just give us a little bit time to think, but it was really well done. Then we can continue with Grammarian Anka. She was precise as always, and I like how she didn't use just things that should be changed and her recommendations, but also the phrases she loved. And she catched really interesting phrases, and she also gave us advice, and it was really good. What I would recommend, you, as Soňa said about Janka, you had your notes down here, and you was much of the time you're looking down. If you put them somewhere like here, you cannot see them, my notes, but they are a little bit next to the camera, and you can make eye contact also with us, and it would be, I think, better. But your evaluation was wonderful. Then we had our funny, energetic Quizmaster John, That was wonderful. I liked you smiled all the time. That was perfect. The atmosphere was even better, even though it was really good before your your evaluation or your quiz. And your questions, they weren't too difficult, but they were still challenging. We could answer almost all of them, and that is really good, because sometimes the quizmaster writes down the things that are not so easy to remember. Even just he can remember that, or maybe the speaker who said that. But your questions were like really good. We had our timer, Vivien. I liked, as Peter said, that your English has improved. That was wonderful. What I would recommend maybe to say, if the speaker was in green group, yellow or red, then we'll know how much time we had or something. But your voice was clear and we could all hear what you were saying. And that would be all about evaluation.